Hello, but it's the Midlands Outdoors. Welcome back to Exploring the Black Country, heading to Sheetwash Nature Reserve. Got a lot of history, got a rattlechain, got a few other bits and pieces over Sheetwash to cover. It's going to be a brilliant day for it today. Just by Netherton Tunnel, heading all the way there at the moment. It's waiting for all this mist to come out the tunnel. There is a lot of it. It's really dark down there. I mean, there's a barge coming, heading towards me, and I cannot see it at all. It's completely filled with mist coming all the way out. That is an absolute amazing sight. I've never seen the tunnel like this for a long time, whether it's starting all the way from the other end in Tividale or coming all the way through. But that is really thick of smoke, travelling all the way down for the water, which you can see it, and going all the way to the bungalow section just down to there. So I have done a bit of research about Rattlechain Lagoon, which is down by the Sheetwash Nature Reserve. I'll show you that when I get there. There's some coal mine basins. There's quite a lot. I've got some really cool stuff on the BCN mainline just before I head down to the Sheetwash. Imagine the Sheetwash Nature Reserve going a long time ago. Used to be industry onto there. But I'm just viewing this at the moment. It's really thick of fog because the barge, what's coming, I can just about see the light very faintly, so it must be really bad down there full of mist. So it's wait for that to come through. I bet it's really bad. I've never seen it like this before. But yeah, let's go and head our way through. Let's just battle our way through the mist and get to the Sheetwash Nature Reserve. Otherwise time's going to be on our side today. So wow, I've just never seen Netherton Tunnel like this. You're coming all the way through. You can just see, you cannot see the light, you can only see the barge. What a sight that is, and all the mist behind me. I don't know if you're able to see it. Just pan around, there's a lot of mist going out there. You cannot see the bungalow section from behind me. This is going to be really crazy explore through here. So it's literally now got to battle our way through a lot of mist, hoping that we can see the floor. Wow. Oh, it is really creepy down here. It's gone absolutely freezing. So I can imagine where the pepper pots are. I bet all the mist is travelling all the way from the top of there, coming all the way down where it's forming. Let's just keep journeying on and get through Netherton Tunnel. So right guys, we're nearly halfway. Check out this. You can just see the beam in front. It is absolutely really thick of fog. Somehow we're seeing just a bit of visibility, but the barge is struggling. It's going absolutely really slow, zooming right away in. Wow. What a sight with that, the barge, where you can just sort of see the ceiling. It's coming all the way through. Let's just wait for the barge to come past. You just see there's one of the air shafts, what I'm pointing to right away above. How cool is this? So there we go. Just thought I might show you a little bit in Netherton Tunnel because it is one of my favourite places to pass through to go to the BCN mainline. You imagine it really does date back, this place, and a lot of history. So here we are out of Netherton tunnel now. It's really foggy a bit more further on. There's some really cool things just coming right up right now. So here we are, this is Tividale Aqueduct. When Netherton tunnel was using electric lighting, this was actually used to power Netherton tunnel. So imagine this was actually constructed around somewhere in the 1800s. It looks really old when you view it from this side. But on the opposite side where the cottages are on the corner, there used to be a toll office. Let's go and show you around that corner right now. You can just see the old cottages on that corner there. Used to be a toll office just situated right on top of there. Got the old pipe leading right away up, which is going all the way to the top. Just imagine it is really old. Used to be some factories on top of there. Picture one for you now, so you can see the top of the Tividale Aqueduct viewing that way with some factories right away off the back. But what I find really cool with canals like these, because this is a Netherton tunnel branch from the BCN mainline, is just imagine how many barges went through there to bring industrial stuff onto there. Coal, metals, all went through Netherton tunnel. You had the Stewarts and Lloyds tugboats which come through in the 1950s, down from here, from the Netherton tunnel branch all the way through. But imagine it really does date back a bit with the tunnel itself and when that was constructed. So here we are, coming up now shortly is Groveland Bridge. Somewhere at the back over that way was Groveland Colliery. You even had Rattlechain. I'll show you where Rattlechain was actually situated. You had Rattlechain Brickworks, Rattlechain Lagoon. I'll just quickly show you that in a little while. So you can just see coming to the Groveland Bridge, the Netherton tunnel branch just carries right the way on till it meets the BCN main line, right the way at the bottom. So here we go, put a couple of old photos on for you now. The first one is actually a map showing you Groveland Colliery, Rattlechain Brickworks onto there. There is a few little basins just onto the BCN main line, one just at the end where we am right now, and where the Rattlechain Brickworks is just a bit further down, there was actually another basin what that was actually used for. So that was actually taken in 1890, so there's a bit of information here if we just read you this. So it does say here, the early 1890 map shows the Rattlechain Brickworks as disused. So we don't know the reasons or length of the time of closure, but planning records suggest that the original quarry operations commenced in 1846. The Groveland and Waterloo collieries to the west and south east occupy substantial areas, but are also marked as disused. At this time the landscape must have appeared particularly barren. The canal and railway lines perhaps providing a quick bypass through former industries concerns. Interestingly, the railway line above the Birmingham mainline canal is marked as the Stour Valley line. Another feature is visible, the Johns Lane tunnel underneath the canal and railway lines. This is also rarely referred as Cooper's Aqueduct. Old coal shafts are marked at both south and north of the Rattlechain site. Just out of this picture immediately, the North Rattlechain and Canal are the pump house brickworks. So there is a 1904 map here just showing you right the way now. You can see the Stour Valley line, bits and pieces there. Just where the basin is, just right away behind me, is even more stuff. It looks like some factory workings. It says there, Stour Valley, new brickworks, which is really quite cool. We'll head down there and show you the site of that in a little while. So in the 1904 map, the Rattlechain Brickworks appear to be operating again. In addition, the Stour Valley New Brickworks is now located along the Netherton Tunnel Branch Canal, which is right away down the bottom here, which I'll show you that little basin which is still there today. So this is just 5 years after the disastrous breach of the Birmingham Canal that Alan Godfrey reproduced the old Ordnance Survey map for grease screen recalls. The canal burst and the escaping water filled the 100 yards deep mole pit and also 3 acres of the surrounding land. So this one's also a map after now, so you can just see a lot has really changed here. So you see on the map some of the buildings have just vanished and even more has just appeared onto the. So here's some aerial photos of the Rattlechain area where you can see the big lagoon which is right away in the middle there, just next to the Netherton Tunnel branch which is further over this way. So in the 14th of June 1961, clear changes have occurred with a subsidiary lagoon now in place with a dividing causeway path. This is much smaller and less elongated with the current smaller pool. We can only wonder as to the lack of health and safety applications which stanked off this area of high toxic waste, it says there, and where it would have been scattered to. The main lagoon appears to have expanded towards John's Lane, and there is an outpost of land jutting out from the newly formed causeway path. A planning application to build a steel rolling mill at this time on the Vono land would see the rattlechain site change on its western boundary. So at this point it must have been evident that more water was needed to cover the highly combustible waste contained in the lagoon. Production at the Trinity Street was still in operation at this time, and the waste stream containing it would have been significantly more than its later years of use. So as we're heading further down, we should be coming to the Toll End Works bridges right the way down to here. Now on the right used to be the Stour Valley New Brickworks, just onto the corner where we are right now, starting from here. And there is a basin just right the way at the end, and it is said that the basin was actually there before this brickworks come around. I think there was old coal shafts right around top where the Stour Valley New Brickworks was. So here we are, these are the Toll End Works bridges right the way here. We've got a bridge just onto the corner here on the BCN mainline going all the way down. You see where it goes off to the Netherton tunnel branch. Just onto the right is actually that basin. Just zooming right away in, you can just see the basin just appearing still here today, and that is actually where the Stour Valley New Brickworks was, just right around the back of this. And it's believed there was actually some coal shafts right the way at the back, just where I'm pointing to onto that corner. So you imagine how far the BCN main line really does date back. You see that way goes all the way to Tipton, and where we're going, that goes all the way to the West Bromwich section down onto the corner. So right, it's very interesting showing you that basin. That is actually the first basin what I'm showing you, and then when we get down to where the rattlechain brickworks was, I will show you this second basin, which is right away down there. But panning around, you can just see the BCN main line, what I'm cycling right away now. It is a very, very long line, so if you kept going and kept going, it will go all the way to Birmingham, through to the Galton Valley to Smethwick, then all the way to Birmingham. So there is quite a lot of history on the BCN main line. Just right at the back used to be another section of canal. You've got the Dunkirk, which I'm coming up right at the bottom in a minute. I will show you the Dunkirk Island, which is in the middle. So it was believed that there was another off-branch of canal that went at the back end of the Sheetwash over the back area. So here we are, this is the second basin. You wouldn't even think it was a basin. We're actually standing on top of canal water, where it was many, many years ago. But you can just see this basin would have gone like that, gone round, then come round like that and gone to the corner there, which you can see the towpath to the BCN main line is right away there. We've got another bridge going all the way across right up to here. But you just see where the basin come in the old days. You can just see the entrance to it going under the bridge leading right away through. So this was actually the basin for rattlechain brickworks, which was right away above up to there. So I do believe there was actually some coal mines. You've got the Braids colliery, which is right away in the distance behind this land at the back, and there was another coal mine, Angie's I think it was, Angie's colliery, which is right away beneath that one as well. But it's just a real cool sight to still see that this basin is really still here. I just can't believe it's just still visible today, with all the nature now taking back on the basin, and big massive hills where the brickworks was right around the corner. Wow, you wouldn't believe this, but we're sitting on the very edge of the BCN main line. Check out this. Wow, right on the edge here is actually where it parts off, and then the canal would have gone into the basin. You can still see old remains of where the basin would have gone in, right the way from here. Viewing all the way up, you can see these pipes sticking right the way up. How cool is that? And then you had the basin right the way in front. Just a real beautiful sight this is, viewing from the BCN main line going all the way down. Wow, check out that. I bet many people who cross the bridge right way above when they take the bikes up or walk it don't realise that this is right around underneath. But there we go, for many people that didn't know there was a basin here. There was definitely a basin just at this bridge down the BCN main line. So you can just see Dunkirk Island here. So somewhere along there isn't any evidence today, but a canal would have split off from that section, gone all the way around, and then gone to the far back areas over that way, which is really quite cool. But you just see evidence of the Dunkirk Island right away here, where one barge goes that way, another barge comes for that way to split the traffic up. So there would have been, definitely would have been another section leading off from there, going that way. So right, that's that covered there. Let's go back down the BCN main line from where we come from and turn left onto that bit of land. So right, here we go. If we just go straight away up, this is where the brickworks was actually situated, right above there. So you just see, this goes really steep up. I'm wondering if this will give us a little bit of views of the Rattlechain Lagoon. I might do a bit of drone footage from here actually. So if we just head up. So here we are, just parked my bike just down onto the path down to there. I've got to show you this, we've got a best view of the lagoon from here. So I didn't think you could actually get down close to it, but you can actually see it from this corner. So you cannot go near it, I think it is very badly polluted inside it. But just viewing from here, check out this. You can just sort of see a view, viewing down onto the lagoon itself. It is really massive. Wow. I mean, you've got the Netherton tunnel branch which goes right the way at the back. You just see a load of fencing, and it's just behind that other factory over there. But what a view. Didn't expect to see from this range. So right, from where we are, this is a tunnel that goes all the way under the BCN main line. In the old days, they actually called this an aqueduct. So did this actually serve the purpose of the industry what was on this side, the brickworks and the other industries? Because then that led right away to the other side, crossing under the BCN main line. You can just tell it's really old. You can just see from the evidence of the brickwork that's coming right the way in, it's definitely really old. Zooming in there, you can just see right the way through. It's got that nice tunnel architecture going all the way down. I do believe sometime at a certain time this was really badly flooded, but it's actually gone all right now. So it is an easy way to get to the Sheetwash Nature Reserve, crossing under the canal, which is right away above. But I mean, viewing of it, it's really cool to see how a canal really goes right away above here. So they must have like tightly secured the underneath where the bed is of the canal to stop it from leaking. So imagine it's just right above us right now. It's just absolutely cool. It's just marvellous back in those days how they did engineering, built tunnels and constructed things like this. I just find it really fascinating. So there we go, there's a tunnel that goes to the Sheetwash Nature Reserve. So here we are, out that tunnel now into the Sheetwash Nature Reserve. So I will tell you quite a bit more information about this place when we get round to the pool section. So I'll show you a bit of wildlife, give you a bit of an overview of what Sheetwash Nature Reserve is, a bit of information. But it is really lovely over here. If you've never been down here, you've got some streams that run under corners down there, and then you've got a couple of pools, one pool at the back which is lovely, and then you've got this stretch down onto here, just a long path now which joins all the way to the bottom end of the pools. Let's go and journey down and we'll go and show you that. So here we are coming to the back end of the pools now. You can just see that stream leading by the side of me. Got a load of birds over here. There's a lot of water birds onto the Sheetwash itself, so we'll get the camera out, try and spot a couple. You see, it's really beautiful. You've got the pool on this side stretching all the way down. Just see a couple of more ends that have gone down. This is really massive, it just stretches right the way to the back, and the views of that is spectacular. So it says here, Sheetwash Urban Park is a local nature reserve, LNR, situated in Sandwell Metropolitan Borough in the West Midlands conurbation. It says there it forms part of the Black Country Urban Forest. So the park is located to the south of Great Bridge, with the main entrances at Sheetwash Lane and Johns Lane, close to the Dudley Port. A minor entrance is located in Phillip Road. It is bounded to the southwest by the West Coast mainline and on the other side by housing estates. The site was originally used for waste disposal, landfill and as a brickworks, and was redeveloped in the 1980s. It extends to about 37 hectares. So I believe there was some collieries somewhere right away at the back. There was actually some brickworks over to here. And as I showed you earlier, was on the BCN main line, you had the Dunkirk section, where a branch of that canal actually went somewhere at the back of the Sheetwash area, further over that way. So there'd been some industry over that way as well. But I find it really cool how you do discover industry what was here many years ago. I mean, if I've got the Ordnance Survey maps on now for you, you could just see on the Ordnance Survey maps Newtown, there's like a little bit of like building stuff over there, so that potentially could have been the brickwork. So it was stretching all the way at the back, from the back end of the pool over that way, so the brickworks have been over there. You'd had some more stuff further right over the back. It's really cool, so you just see this land just really does date really old. But I must say though, apart from the industry, it is really beautiful over here. You spend hours just spotting the wildlife. There is actually fish within the pools. I've seen the carp just sort of like jump out the water next to me. But I think I'm going to get my camera out, let's go and spot some wildlife what's over the Sheetwash. There's quite a lot over here, a lot of water birds. Let's just see what we can see. quite a bit of wildlife over here. In the coots, some of the water birds. There's quite a lot over the back where I'm going to head to, so I'll give you some more nature overviews in a minute. I'm going to roll around to that section in a minute. But you can just hear sizzling above me. This is the pylons going all the way down, and there is some small circular things onto there which are like an orange colour. And what those are supposed to do is to divert geese when they try and fly towards it. It's supposed to divert them over it apparently. So that's what those are for, on the pylons, stop them from going into it and sizzling. So I think what we'll do, let's go and journey around the Sheetwash. Let's get to the other side of the nature reserve where the other part is, so I can see the cormorants. There's a load of cormorants over here, I've just heard them, but you can only see them from that back bit because there's quite a lot of them on rocks. Let's go and check it out. So I think Great Bridge is actually straight in front. There is a sign here telling us where the areas are. You can just see Great Bridge right there, the pools, Dudley Port Station, and then the viewpoint is actually that way. Let's go and head this way because there is a nice little bit of view, I think. I'm not too sure if it'll be overgrown because I remember the last time I come here I had a little bit of a viewpoint, but it was completely overgrown sort of. Let's see what we can see. Let's go down there. So I must say it is really beautiful over here. You can just see all the wildlife and all the surroundings here. There's quite a lot of nature over this part of the wooded area. I must say it is a beautiful place. If you've never been, definitely worth the walk. I've been here a few times actually. You can spot quite a lot of wildlife. So here we are, this is what I've come for. These cormorants always sit on these rocks. They don't really move for much of a day. I think there's an egret with them as well. Let's go and get the camera and zoom into them. It's really quite cool. So right, over to the camera now. Let's just quickly zoom in onto these cormorants. I think there's an egret with them. Let's just carefully zoom in. Wow, look at the view of those. I haven't seen one of these birds in a long time. So I can just see an egret with them, that white egret that's onto the corner. That one's panting, it's just really warm. I mean, I'm warm myself, it's just gone really hot out here. But it's what a beautiful sight to see though. So there is quite a lot of fish in here then, because they've been here for a long time. One there, and there's even one there. Wow, you just tell they've been there for a long time by all the poos on the rock. But that's cool to see that egret right the way there. What a view. You see there's even one there onto the corner. So right, how cool is it to see those? I don't really see many of those. I only see the odd one on the BCN mainline every time I'm cycling down. But I don't really see many of those anywhere, to be fair. But they're really cool looking birds, those cormorants. But I love the egret. I've seen an egret by me up in Romsley on the fields, just flown down, and I took some nice photographs of it there once. But I tell you what, you can just capture some really cool wildlife onto here. Let's go and check out the rest of the Sheetwash Nature Reserve and see what it's got to offer. So right, here's the other back end of the Sheetwash Nature Reserve. I've never been over this way. If I just stop my bike for a moment and show you. Just here, there's quite a lot of wildlife over there. I mean, it's just completely overgrown by all this like nature taking back. And I think at a certain time of year, they'll let this all this stuff overgrown because it attracts wildlife. Nature takes back into these places and uses it for habitats. That's why they let it overgrow a little bit, and I think then they cut it back after a certain time. But I think it's lovely like that. I mean, many people might say, well, it's a bit of a sight, but that's what attracts the wildlife to come down. I love it like this. It's natural, it's the way it should be. But you just see right the way there, even on that corner, we've got a lot of grass coming up and a lot of plants. It's completely taken back on those corners. Beautiful back end to the section. You see the pylons coming all the way down once more. So right, if we just go back down, there is another pool on this corner, but I think it's completely dried up. I can just see Sheetwash Nature Reserve and another pool on that corner. Actually no, part of it is dried up, I just checked, and some of it is actually still there. A lot of reeds have taken back on some of the pool, dried it most of it up. If we just come further down, I think the left turning should take us to the other side of the nature reserve itself. So if we go this way, we can see what's down here. I tell you what, you do see quite a lot of nice wild flowers in nature reserve. I mean, I've seen these like little pink flowers, try and spot them. So if we just journey further down, check out these, you can just see some very beautiful pink flowers coming all the way up. If I just zoom in, you just see them right the way there. Beautiful pink vibrant colours into them, and you've got these buttercups growing all the way up. It's nice to see some of the wild flowers growing in the edgeways. I love looking at the flowers as well as the wildlife. And then you've got some daisies just coming right the way out of the ground. But apart from that, the reason why I've come down to this section is to find this. Now this is definitely evidence of old remains of where the brickworks actually was. Where we're on top of right now is where the brickworks was in the old days. You just see I found a piece just buried right the way in the floor. So there could have been some buildings where it was right now, going all the way across down to there. You see there's quite a lot of it coming out the ground. There's even a piece there, churned up. I found a massive piece just onto the corner here, just sticking right the way out the last time. You really do see evidence of the old industry. There's so much there. I think there was like a big chunk of it just around on that corner there. So right, let's keep journeying on. Let's go and see what's down this way. You can just about see what I mean. All the reeds have taken back. You see it's just overgrown in several sections onto here. The back end of that pool, there's a lot of water into it, but it's all dried up onto this section. You can just see the ground down to there. And you see there, quite a lot of wildlife do use these, like the coots and moor hens. They love to nest within reeds and overgrowth because they are timid and shy birds. But how beautiful is that? I could just listen to these sounds for hours. Swarming with wildlife for the second time I've come back now. So right, I think we've actually come to the back end of the pool. Never been down this section. You see right the way here, there's the other up off the pool, stretching all the way down. So we was over where the pylon was, on the far back corner. Wow, I tell you what, the temperature is really rising. It's been really bad this week, 27, 28. You've got to be so careful when doing this because you can feel lightheaded. I feel a bit lightheaded at the moment, so I'm just going to have a little bit of a breather. But this is cool right the way next to me. Check out this rock. It's got a massive hole with it sticking right the way up. And apparently there's a nice viewpoint from here, stretching all the way across, only at a certain time of year when the leaves are off the trees. And the last time I ever come down, I could see much more further into the distance. But you see the pylons. You can just sort of see a little bit back areas, like where the hills are, and further over the back. What I'm looking at is something very interesting, so we're going to forget the views. I've just found Dudley Castle right the way at the back. Let's zoom in with the camera and see if that is definitely Dudley Castle. So right, let's zoom right the way in. Let's just see if this is definitely Dudley Castle. Oh wow, yeah it is. There's Dudley Castle, guys, right the way to the top. Imagine Dudley Castle really does date old. It's got a lot of history behind it. And you've got Castle Hill Woods. Then you've got the Dudley Limestone Cavern, so you may have seen my Exploring the Black Country video when I went to the Dudley Limestone Cavern. So we'll definitely be going to Dudley Castle, so stay tuned. That is one video not to miss. I'm going to be doing the Dudley Zoo video. You see, stretching all the way further down. You see right way into the distance of the trees. You can just see the train line by the BCN main line. So here we are, here's that rock, just viewing from me inside the hole here. I wonder how old this rock really is and the purpose of it, why it is even here. It's got little bits of glass inside there. If I just pan around, you see little bits of glass and stuff right the way inside it. It's made with a certain type of rock. But cool little viewpoint. Wow. A lot of insects and stuff up here, just seen a lot of butterflies. You see all these like yellow flowers once more. Check out all these onto the floor. And all the overgrown trees into there. There's a lot of bird life, it's the magpie. Well, lovely place. I am impressed with it so far. Sheetwash, definitely worth just to come down when you've got nothing to do. You want a nice stroll. Just want to see a little bit of wildlife. So it even says there, the old brickworks walk just onto the corner. You see a big map of the Sheetwash itself, John's Lane pool. That's actually a fishing pool, it's a smaller one. You've got the pump house pool, so I think that's where he was. And it goes all the way around. You've got the River Thames, so that's actually that stream. And you've got Groveland Brook, which runs by the side of it. So Sheetwash Local Nature Reserve has woodlands, meadows, lakes, pools, marshes, streams and the River Thames. It says there, it was designated as a local nature reserve in 2000, helping to preserve its important wildlife site for future generations. The site today is managed by the Sandwell MBC Countryside Services with the support of volunteers and the Friends of Sheetwash. So it says here, site history, Sheetwash Local Nature Reserve is a haven for wildlife and a superb example of nature reclaiming a former industrial site. So sheep were once grazed on the flood meadows of the River Thames, and the site gets its name from a sheetwash which once existed here. So it says there, the once rural landscape was later exploited for its mineral deposits, coal, gravel and marl extraction. Water mills, iron foundries, canals, railway and brickworks have once over time transformed the area beyond recognition. But yeah, really enjoyed coming back over to the Sheetwash Nature Reserve. It's been a brilliant trip, enjoyed the wildlife, the scenery, that viewpoint. It's nice to come back over one more time, show you a bit of extras, even show you the stuff up to there where the old brickwork and basins was. That was really cool. So I hope you've enjoyed the video. Smash that like button if you've really enjoyed it. It shows you how much you appreciate my work. But for the meantime, see you soon for Midlands Outdoors out. Long trip back through Netherton Tunnel now, and take care guys.